You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dini Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what is up, and welcome to the very first episode of the year. Oh yeah, 2020. It sounds weird to say that, but we are here, folks. We survived, and yeah, everything is okay as far as I know. Just a decade ago, or was it a decade ago? No, 2 decades ago, we had that Y2K thing, and I'm not sure if we had anything for this decade. Probably not, but or was it a millennium? Anyway, I forget which is which. All I know is that we keep breezing through these years like it's nothing, and then you step back and you take inventory of the things you've done. And I hope you guys are proud of yourself, or at least headed in the direction that you are pursuing to go. That's the most important thing, no matter where you start or when you start. The point is that you keep moving forward, Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So, I completely screwed that up. I don't know the difference. I was that 4th grader in class, not the bright one, the one that sat in the back with, his finger in his nose. That was me. I was that kid, so sometimes you gotta bear with me. Anyway, one vital component of achievement is to know exactly what you want. A vague idea will not get you there. It is important to have a clear, detailed definition. And it is just as important to define exactly what you will offer in return for the achievement that you desire. There is no such thing as something for nothing, and any attempt to chase after it will be futile. If you're not prepared to provide sufficient value in return for whatever you want, you're only not dreaming empty dreams. You certainly do not lack for things to offer to begin with. You have your time. It is precious and irreplaceable. By making full use of it, you can provide an enormous amount of value, enough to exchange for anything that you desire. Beyond that, you have your skills, your ideas, your ability to get things done, your knowledge, your experience, expertise, your interest, and so much more. All these things have sufficient value to produce whatever accomplishment you wish to bring into being. The way to have whatever you want is to offer something of adequate value in return. There is no way around that, but the way through is clear and reliable. Life will reward you in direct proportion to the value you are willing to and able to give up. Take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music, or Inside the Book, Inside the Business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline, or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kids it on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. And that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. Text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we ever aired.
All right. Tonight's interview is the TRUTHR Interview, and again, I'm your host, dini-mussolini. Artistic music that holds vibes of ambient and soaked with hints of trance, rich and full of sonic textures you will want to repeat. We fully support the creative mind behind the music of TRUTHR. And with that, guys, let's welcome him to the show. Hey, man, you're now live in the midst with all of us. How's it going?
Hey, bro, good. Thank you for having me. That was a nice intro. I like that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, man, welcome to the show. Happy New Year, and I hope you're, setting out on that path of kicking ass and taking names in the music business,
Yeah, bro, it feels exciting for some reason. I don't know if it's just a numerical thing or about 2020 or what. That seems like it should be some sort of turning point for, I don't know, the world and hopefully a lot of individuals,
Yeah.
Hopefully in a good way.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely feeling that 2020 kind of a clear vision of what you want or where you want to be in life, clear goals, So that's what I get out of it, playing the numbers game here. So yeah, I'm all for 2020,
Right on, bro.
All right, man. So tell us about this new single of yours called Strange Places.
Yeah, Strange Places is produced by Chance McCullough from San Diego. When I heard that beat, I was like, it just has a vibe. It's a nice kind of dark, I don't know if dark is the right word, but kind of mystical, like it's definitely maybe a dark blue or a dark green or something, but it's some sort of dark. It's just got a very nice, smooth. It's got like sitar samples and just some crunchy, really nice sounding drums, and it kind of just inspired kind of a poetic delivery, I think, out of me, just because of the kind of the ethericness of the. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but it's just the vibe kind of brought out kind of a poetic, just overview of kind of a lot of things that I've just been observing as far as like the collective energy of people and myself too, I think.
Yeah. So are you big on energy?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of obvious. I trip on people who don't really even who don't think in those terms. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you know, it just seems like it's just a kind of an obvious, you know, just to say, are you big on energy? It's like that could mean so many things, you know. But yeah, everything is energy and vibes and frequencies, and you know what I mean. Especially music.
Yes, sir. Is that something that you touch on a lot in your music, like frequency?
Yeah, I have kind of a fantasy brain, so I really like to think in those. I really enjoy thinking in those terms, you know, and you know, just thinking along the lines of like this is just we're tuned into one like narrow bandwidth of everything, you know what I mean? And there's so much more that I don't know if we're choosing not to perceive, or we're being caused not to perceive, or we're, you know, I mean, either way, it's a learning experience, you know, and we experience what we're, I guess, meant to experience while we're here. But I know there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more going on that we don't see or hear, or you know, it's like even NASA like has instruments where they're like picking up like every planet has like a note that it's playing, and it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, so they're thinking like, oh, all these planets are hollow, so it's like it's ringing like a comet hit it and it's ringing, you know, because which would only happen, I guess, if it was hollow. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, there's just so much going on. Like, things are just emitting frequencies like that. I don't really know much about astrology and stuff, but the idea behind it is that each of these like areas in space is emitting some sort of frequency kind of that causes things, and I don't know. It's a trip, you know.
Yeah. When you get into astrology, man, it's a whole another world.
Yeah.
I mean, true astrology. Just time itself is based off astrology.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's at least some sort of way of. Yeah. Is it Pisces or we're going into Aquarius or something? I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah. I want to say Pisces.
And those are what, like thousands of years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if like, I don't know. It's like time kind of, as far as like keeping track of years, it's like you have to have a beginning, you know, because we're keeping track of time from when Jesus was born, or when he died, or one of the two, before Jesus' time, you know, because we're AD. But before that, it's like when was the beginning before that? We don't even hear about that. And I was tripping on how October has Oct in it and December has Dec in it. So they should be the 8th and 10th month. Then you would think March would be the first month of the year.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that on the Julian calendar though? They're in like
order, probably. I haven't studied much up on it actually.
Yeah.
I haven't studied much. It's the Roman calendar too. The Roman calendar, right? I think March is the first. Is that the same thing?
Yeah. It's just these European calendars, man. We do what we want.
Right. Yeah, but it seems like things are like getting kind of off track, you know, like the equinox is falling on like the wrong date, and like the poles are shifting and shit. Like everything's kind of like kind of changing, I feel like. And we slowly, you know, I guess if your calendar isn't exact, then you're gonna eventually, like, the seasons would be off, you know. It wouldn't be associated with the same month.
It was 70 degrees Christmas Day here in my
Wow. Yeah, it warmed up. It warmed up over here around then too. That's crazy.
Yeah, shorts, man.
And what's normal?
I remember last year,
has it snowed?
No. I was gonna say last year it finally got cold like around March, and it snowed like in March, and that's like spring break for us. Why is it snowing during spring? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's strange. Yeah, I think shit's just moving, because I heard it was hotter in Alaska too. But then they're saying, like, then I was hearing about some giant iceberg, like, was growing. Not an Antarctic iceberg, but there was one around Greenland or something like that. And that was, the iceberg was growing. So I'm like, I wonder if, like, the cold spot moved over there. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. I need to look into that for real.
Yeah. Why not? You know, there's so much information right now, though. It's just, you know, I was tripping on the solar minimum. I thought it was going to be a super cold winter, but it hasn't really seemed like that. But maybe it's like not winter yet. You know what I mean? Maybe the solar winters. You heard about the solar minimum? That's like supposedly like the sun goes into times of dormancy, and this year and next year is supposed to be the grand solar minimum.
Right.
Like a heavy duty one, but I don't know. I'm not feeling the effects.
Yeah. I feel you, man. So let's talk about strange places. Like, what kind of strange places are we
got off track there.
Talking about? What kind of strange places are we talking about exactly?
Oh man, I guess I think I was coming at it from kind of a mental place, almost like strange places in the mind. But I mean, it does manifest in real life too. I mean, it's just people are going so far out of their way to get what they want, and you know, we've been reduced. I mean, in a lot of ways, we've been reduced to like this super instant gratification system of reward, where we're willing to act a fool, kind of, and just waste a lot of time, kind of in a hamster wheel or something, to get these little feelings. You know, it's like these little rewards of I don't know, like likes, or even, I don't know, I feel like everyone, I mean, obviously it's kind of cool because the internet is like magnifying this shit where you know, everyone's in the spotlight and everyone wants to kind of, you know, put the highlights of life up there. And in a way, it might be like this process of us all kind of evolving. And like, it's right now is like this strange time where like we're in this like romance stage with technology, in a way. And then the technology is getting all crazy. But it could be like pushing us to grow, you know what I mean? In a way, because I think that like I don't think everyone is competitive or anything, but on social media and stuff. But you know, it does create a competitiveness, and like, and, you know, it's common for people to be feeling envy, or they say that social media is bad for people's health because you see all this stuff and you want it. You know what I mean? But we're having to clarify like what we want and like what's really right now, because there's so much stuff's going down. It's like everyone's always talking about their opinions, and people like believe in the opposite shit for something. Like, you know, we're living in the same country, we're like similar upbringings, and that we have, and yet we have the total opposite beliefs on multiple topics, and it's just mind blowing. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Sorry, I don't know if I can curse.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's the internet.
Yeah, so you see where it just took me on a rant where I feel like I just went into a strange place, like in my mind. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just tripping on just kind of taking a bird's eye view of like the vibration right now, and I feel like it's been like frantic. You know what I mean? And people are getting all riled up and about crazy shit that like you would think that we were done with. You know what I mean? But we're almost like a purification or like a final phase, you know. Everyone's getting all stirred up and shit's coming to surface, you know, like we're realizing like, wow, we're being lied to in all these different regards. And so I feel like we're in a strange place now, actually, everyone.
Yeah, we are.
So it's just one of those kind of songs where it's just a real bird's eye kind of vibe, where I'm just getting into a meditative vibe with those sitars, and kind of just expressing how I felt the energy was in the air, in the world's air, in our atmosphere.
Right on, man. I love it. Can you describe for us your best music-related memory to us? It can be from any age. I was thinking, I mean, I'm not sure, maybe I can get specific eventually once I go through my mind a little bit, but I was
I was just thinking about how I miss like being around. I think it was probably around 19, and it was just the vibe of how it was set up with being in my hometown and having all these friends around. And at that point, like, everyone had all this free time, no one had kids, and we would just chill in like someone's studio. Like I had a studio, and another homie had a studio, but you know, just having the crew all in one place and like vibing and making songs. You know, like maybe one person would make a song with one dude, and then someone else wants to make a song, and someone else hops on that one. We end up, you know, you're cranking out multiple songs with multiple people in a day, and just I really miss that. I feel like you know, things get busy, and you know, I still be making mad music, and but more on my own, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss
Gotcha.
it. I miss it being more of a collective activity, the creations process in the studio.
Yeah.
Because those are the vibes, bro. Just chilling in the studio and, you know, having something to drink and smoking and, yeah, just being creative. With multiple people in a room too, it's different. Like I make my music, you know, alone. Almost always.
So you make it alone now versus how you used to make it in a collective.
Yeah, and I would still make music alone, like when people weren't around, but I do miss that. And I don't even know if, like, you know, a lot of the time it wouldn't even be that productive almost. It would be like kind of just like, you know, we're kind of fucking around and might get some good ideas. Sometimes we might come across something dope, but a lot of the time it would just be like, you know, trying to make some good stuff. But a lot of the homies were like beginners. You know, they hadn't done a lot of rapping or singing or whatever. We're just wanting to get in on it.
Yeah.
But those were the days. Those were the days.
The fellowship of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe just having that free time, I guess, or something. Yeah, it was a time of freedom. You know, sometimes you'll like hear a song and it brings you back to it makes you feel like that time. Like when I'll hear some stuff like that I remember from when I was in, you know, 6th grade or something, and it'll make me feel like that for a sec. Like, oh wow, those were the days, you know.
Yes, sir. All right, so let's talk about your songs. You have Elevate, It's On Me, and Now Strange Places. So it seems like each one of your records tell a separate story. But when we talk about Strange Places, I like to start to think of what that song would look like in the physical, like visually. So what does that look like for you exactly if you were to put it to a music video like you did the other 2 tracks?
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking about that lately, because I feel like I want to do that. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like the album cover is this kind of grimy, almost like an abandoned room, or like, you know, like a concrete room kind of. It's all cluttered and there's graffiti. And I kind of always liked that kind of aesthetic. But for this song, I definitely felt like the right kind of vibe. But like I was saying earlier, like it's dark, you know, but it's not like dark like sad, but it's kind of serious, you know, and it's deep. It's kind of deep. So I was thinking, you know, dark colors. But I don't know, bro. I mean, that's really been on my mind, actually, what the visual would be for Strange Places, and that's definitely the next step that I'm kind of been meditating on.
How long does it take for you to finalize a song like this?
A lot. I mean, I would say normally, I mean, it's really just about kind of the commitment of sitting down until it's done, and I always come back. But I mean, some songs come out of me in an hour, you know, or some songs I'll pretty much write. Like I always kind of write while I'll record a hook and vibe on the beat with the hook with space, and vibe on and then write the verses that way. So I kind of like can catch the vibe of coming out of the chorus writing a hook. But yeah, so I kind of write and record at the same time since I got the home studio. So I just kind of punch in, and it's all one process in a way, like the whole writing and recording, and even mixing, because it's like I want to hear how it's going to sound right then. Like I want to, if I was just recording a song, like I can't imagine recording a song just completely dry, and then just being like, yeah, it's done, I'm going to send it off to get mixed. But you don't even know, what it'll sound like mixed at all. You know what I mean? Because it's so different. Like the mix is, I think, it's a big deal. I mean, a lot of mixes are simplistic. You don't have to do that much. But for like some hard hitting kind of melodic, hip hop or R&B kind of stuff, yeah, the mix is nice. You want to have some nice reverb, and you want to have some echoes, and you want, it to just sound full and like you're in an arena or something. So yeah, I'm basically fine-tuning all that stuff at the same time. But yeah, sometimes an hour or two, and then sometimes days and days, because I just keep coming back to it and wanting to make it better and better, or at least change little parts. And sometimes I'll just be like, man, I'm just gonna try it again and just start and just record it all over again and just see if I can do it better.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of just a matter of the mood, and some styles of songs require so much more fine tuning. Like sometimes I feel like songs, if I'm just rapping and I'm not singing, not really trying to hit notes or anything, then I feel like it takes me way less takes. Just because you got to get those notes right and the cadence right and everything when you're being melodic. But if you're just rapping, right, it's kind of quite a bit easier to just get like a one take and nail it. If you've done it a couple times, or maybe not. Sometimes I could just write and kind of have it down in my head and be able to pretty much get a satisfactory take, in one take.
That's right. Cool.
Yeah.
What other roles do you play concerning your music?
Everything, bro. I mean, I record it myself. I mix it myself. I don't master it. I get it mastered, and then I do pretty much I've paid for some music videos and some promotion, but I do my own graphic design like every time. Anything that's, yeah, I do all my own graphic design. I make little videos for myself. I basically do everything.
Cool. One man band. I like that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really on a track by track basis, really, because sometimes I might work with a producer who makes a beat that wants to actually help, you know what I mean, and be a part of the process after just making the beat, because then it's a little different, and I have some help.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's
TRUTHR, say that again?
Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I lost my train of thought there.
I'm sorry. But what I was going to say is, how for some reason for music there has always been a timeline for some artists, even going through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, millennium, even now with auto-tune. You have different stages of music, and some artists don't tend to make it throughout their period. Some transcend it, like Drake, for one, Snoop. They were able to transcend musical timelines. What do you think is one of the keys to an artist not being stuck in a date, timelessness is kind of, I think that the people who stay kind of talked about and relevant the longest are the people that make that make music that really hits you emotionally, because I think that it has. I mean, when you think about memory, like you remember things that were emotional mostly, and something that you don't care about. Like if someone's
sometimes like if someone's talking to me and like all of a sudden I realize, wow, I don't care about this right now, like it becomes way harder to even listen. You know what I mean? It's like your brain just rejects. And not even like, not, you know, not as much like when someone's talking to me, but just anything, you know, think about if an ad starts playing on your radio, you know, or just, you know, your brain will reject things. And I think that our brain kind of rejects and tends to not place importance or in memory of stuff that didn't hit you emotionally. So when you hear songs from people that, you know, Drake, I feel like Drake, you know, he's mad emotional. So, you know, he's almost like, it's so strange because hip hop now is like R&B, right? Because he could also go down like as like an R&B guy, you know what I mean? But he did a thing where he made it the same thing, and then everyone did that.
That's right.
But yeah, I guess being one of a kind definitely helps you to, you know, when you pave your own lane, like you kind of decide when it stops, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're just doing the same thing as everyone else, then, you know, you're not going to transcend anything, you know? But yeah, if you do your own thing and manage to, it's crazy. Like it's, you know, think about some of the artists, the painters, that like their paintings are worth, they're priceless. And they weren't really worth anything when they were alive, you know? It's crazy. Like some people actually are making stuff that's like for the future, or maybe the past.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll be like, man, I bet this music would have popped off if I had made it in like the 90s or the early 2000s or something.
Yeah.
But now it's like I've heard every kind of music. You know, it's so hard to find a song that grabs you, and it's like, hey, this is a song that you know, this one is, even if it's similar to the stuff going around, but you just hear it and you're like, wow, that's a hit, and you know that you're kind of, you know, people don't really realize it yet or whatever. But yeah, sometimes you stumble across those, and those are hopefully those are the people that are, you know, remembered and are able to, you know, transcend their boundaries, because I feel like a lot of the times in the industry, the people that are on the headlines and trending and everything, it's really just a budget. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys are just
right.
They're in your face, and you know about them because of a budget, whether they signed a deal for some reason, like, you know, and they might just be mad brandable, you know, like they might have a lit Instagram where they do crazy shit or whatever, you know, but for whatever reason, you know, a lot of people are just there because there's a budget behind them. And you never know, bro. Like someone could go platinum and make $1 million off going platinum, and they spent $1 million on promo. So they really made nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, that's a lot to spend on promo, but I feel like that's what a lot of it is nowadays. It's like you see whoever has the most money so that their sponsored ad or whatever, like, breaks through the noise and blah, blah, blah. But the people that stick around are obviously the ones that really, you know, they capture people. And I guess now it's really just coming into light, like, wow, what makes someone interesting? You know what I mean? Because that's what everyone's trying to figure out. Because people will be like, oh man, how do I get more Instagram followers? It's like, well, you're boring. You know, what are you going to do? Show a picture of your commute? You know what I mean? So people are like, what makes someone interesting, and how do I be like that? It's kind of cool in a way, you know? Why not make everyone more interesting? But if it's superficial and people are just appearing to be more interesting, then that doesn't make as much sense.
Yeah. Man, so right you are. So man, I want to know about music that inspires you, especially maybe an act that's not commercial or maybe that's underground. Name an artist that's totally musically nailing it right now, that kind of, you know, sharpening your sword, your iron, and, you know, helping you to be more creative as you listen to this artist, you know, somebody who's on your playlist rather. I really fell in love with, and I've never heard anyone else say his name besides, because I just found him on the internet, but Shava, I believe, Sjava. He is on
his music, every song of his to me is like so beautiful, but also slaps. Like it's like trap beats, but then he's got this voice that with just crazy texture, but he's always speaking in Afrikaans, I think. He doesn't even speak English. Like, and this is the funny thing is I always thought like I don't really like music in another language because I'm a lyricist, so I like to vibe to the lyrics and I like to understand them. But his music, I don't need to understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
He was on the Black Panther soundtrack with Mozzie from Sacramento.
Okay.
On a song. Yeah, he has a song with Mozzie on the Black Panther soundtrack, but then I peeped his whole catalog, and he has an album that's amazing. Have you heard him?
I think I have. Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, he's dope. He's just a dope singer, but he's just got vibes, and and his production is amazing too. And then now there's this kid that recently really caught my ear, who's way different, but 16-year-old Australian kid, Kid Leroy, who's signed to Lil Bibby. He came out with a song called "Let Her Go," and he's fresh. I feel like he's gonna be big deal. But he's so young. That song is just so catchy, and that's just someone just recently, that's actually grabbed my attention through the noise.
Yeah.
But I don't know, bro. As far as like people who have inspired me in the past, there's so many. As a kid, it was like I just listened to kind of whatever I found, or whatever my friends were listening to. At first, there wasn't really a way to an easy way to kind of search for music. I would just like see it on TV, or my friends would play it. But I was into like at first Green Day and Offspring, but I quickly found hip hop. I guess when I was probably, I don't even know, 10 or. I remember I had a Jurassic 5 album, Quality Control, and that was vibes to me. That was something that really that album inspired me a lot and kind of probably put me on a certain direction.
Yeah, cool deal. Yeah. And what about a commercial act that's totally nailing it in music that's inspiring you?
For commercial acts, I mean, I'm honestly a big fan of Drake's work, over the last 10 years, and I don't know, XXXTentacion, Juice WRLD. I really like their stuff. When I have a hard time even watching the mainstream. Like right now, I don't. It's a lot of the really big artists. Like I don't really know what they look like. I can't really name one of their songs, and I keep hearing their names, but I just can't. It's a big to go and like check them out and listen to a few of their songs. There's so many new ones. Like I'm still stuck on like older artists. But XXXTentacion, when I heard his music, I was so obsessed with it, and I kept sending it to people who like didn't listen to hip hop. Have you ever checked XXXTentacion? Because I feel like he transcended genres. Like, he was almost punk rock and folk sometimes. Like when he would sing, it's almost like it's like a folk song, almost. But it would always have kind of a hip hop texture in the production, but. He was like everything, he would do a screamo, heavy metal punk song, and then rap, super dope, and then sing a folk song on the same album. And I was obsessed with 17 and Question Mark. And then he was like one of the deaths. He was the death that shook me up the most out of like all the young rappers and artists that have been passing lately. Just because of the timing of like me discovering him and falling in love with his music, and then him dying.
Yeah. So what's currently on your playlist right now that's also inspiring your music?
Just like more songs. Just what's going on of like current stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. not even listening to that much music, honestly. I've been like I'm really addicted to podcasts. I'm always listening to them. I listen, like I work, when I'm working at home, I mean, I'll just play podcasts all day and even like fall asleep to them sometimes.
What have you been listening to?
Just crazy, just so many, bro. I mean, I just found the Astral Hustle, which was kind of interesting. It's just basically about like, positivity and productivity and focus and things like that. But I'd be listening to comedians and stuff. I check Joe Rogan when Joe Rogan has someone like academic on there, I'll peep, but I don't really peep. I don't really check the ones where it's like a fighter or another comedian. But when it says like, oh, some psychologist from Harvard or something, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna check this one because I know there'll be some dope little wisdom insights in there, hopefully.
Yeah, most definitely.
But Joe, I listen to every Joe Budden. I'm always peeping, like, not even just podcasts, but just interviews. Like, I've just been really into hearing people talk, like people who I kind of look up to, and just to kind of see what's going on in their mind, because you see such a different side of artists. Like, that's really my favorite shit, is like artist interviews.
Yeah.
Did you catch
I've been on Drake's Rap Radar interview?
Yeah, bro, that was really good. I really liked that.
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours. I mean, he's been pretty elusive. Like there hasn't been tons of interviews with him over the years. So yeah, it was cool to just hear him like recap everything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I mean, that shit'll probably make so much money, bro. That's the thing, is like the podcasts make more money for people who like blow up and are successful, because they're so long. So it's all about like watch time. So if you think about an artist who's, they get to tour and everything, but think about just streaming. Like the artist, let's say you drop a song a week, which is pretty frequent. You're giving people like 3 minutes of content to listen to a week, whereas a podcaster might be giving them 3 hours twice a week. So if you actually have, and a lot of people won't even listen to your song all the way through, but like when I come through and I'm listening to your whole 3-hour podcast, how much money did you just make off me? That's like, that's like 100 songs right there as far as time goes. So when I know, like, on YouTube and probably all of the platforms, they take into account the stream time.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is so true.
So it's an interesting new development.
You're right about that, man. So I ran across something interesting on the internet. And maybe you can help me out here. But I've heard that ancient mountains were actually chopped down giant trees that, stretched far into the galaxies, that house like mystical creatures, like giants, fairies, dwarfs, dragons, things like that. Have you heard anything of the sort?
I've seen the thing where it was like pictures of plateau hills, and they were kind of comparing them to tree stumps and saying like it used to be a place for giants or something. But I don't know, bro. I mean, that's so wild, but I've gotten to the point where it's like I don't believe in anything really, but I believe anything is possible. And I kind of look at it like this, like I look at it like, if you think that the universe is like mostly just like rock, like dead, and even rock isn't dead, which is strange. It's like it is vibrating. But if you think that the world is dead, or the universe is mostly dead, and like consciousness or whatever is a product of physical, then you are kind of forced to believe in certain ways. But like if you think that possibly consciousness was before physical, so if consciousness came before matter, then that would mean matter would be a product of consciousness. Consciousness created matter, but think about in the process of creating matter, you might, everything could at first be in like a dream state. So the universe, like when you hear about stories, from indigenous people and stuff, and they have these wild stories where they're like, oh, the universe was born out of a lotus flower that grew out of a goddess's belly button, and to someone who's like mad scientific, and they would just brush it off like whatever, but what if these were like the dream states that kind of were precursors to physical in a way. Like when I thought about that, I was reading some philosophy thing where it was basically about, it was dividing people into sects of materialist or mentalist, or there was 4 combinations, and the 2 of them were like a mix. But the materialist thinks that that physical matter, the physical is all there is, and the mental is kind of an illusion. And then there's the one that they think that they believe that consciousness is not an illusion, it's something real, but it's a product of the physical. And then there's the opposite people who think that the physical came out of mental. And I kind of lean towards that one, where I my mind state is like, yeah, if you subscribe at all to like thought forms reality or any of that stuff that's been going around, that's basically what it is. It's like, does your mind, has power over this realm, then it might not be as physical as it is, or as we think it is, or as hard or as heavy or as we think it is. Might be more malleable in a way, or maybe it used to be. So I think like any of this shit could have happened like in a dream way, or like the process of building the physical universe. And we don't even really know like how long anything's been around, because the official story is that humans, we evolved and whatnot, and and we really haven't been here for that long. But then there's people who are like, no, but we were doing, there's people who think we were here way longer, hundreds and thousands of years ago, and actually doing advanced shit. There's just mysteries on the earth, like these little things that are like yelling at everyone, being like, hey, I don't make sense at all. There's just, like the monuments left behind by ancient civilizations, they have like, they're like anomalies. Like they have, there's qualities to them that make no sense, that just don't make sense if you think that people weren't sophisticated back then.
That's right.
Yeah, that's totally like laser etched. There's like laser etched, fleur de lis, or the flower of life. It's laser etched into pyramids, like on multiple continents. There's this dude Nassim Haramein that'll blow your mind. He talks about that. He basically talks about like sacred geometry being the unified field theory, and about how these ancient civilizations knew about it. They knew they had like the keys to the universe. So yeah, bro, maybe there was a tree that was maybe this was like home to giants and fairies and dragons and trees in some way. Who knows?
All right.
I mean, it's just a funny thing to think about, and it's entertaining to think about, but I can't prove any which way.
All right.
But yeah, those hills do look like tree stumps.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. All right, guys, are y'all ready for some music? I am. After the music break, it'll be time for our usual tradition. It is called the hot seat. And our fans love this part of the segment, of course, along with the actual interview, but the audience will get a chance to hear Truther provide us with some vocals, maybe some poetry, written work, spoken word, freestyle raps, jokes, stories, live instruments. You never know what these creative minds and vessels will produce in the spotlight, and tonight we'll find out if Truther has what it takes to be put on the spot, a test of his true artistry. For right now, we have Truther with this song, Strange Places, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. Craziest nights, laziest days. Please forgive me for all of my ways. Sex will continue to sell, crime will continue to pay. They thought that this was just only a phase. I never cease to be amazed. How blind can you be? Is there eyes in your face? Sometimes I feel like you're the only one who understands. Sometimes I wish I had 100 grand in rubber bands. I know how it feels being so far from home, acting like you know just what you're doing, but you don't. When the world falls, only the flyers will survive. When the world falls, only the highest will survive. When the world falls, I'll be glad to be alive. Sooner the world falls, sooner we arrive in the strangest of places. Intoxicated, this generation ain't got no patience. We want it all now. We want it all now. We want it all now. We want it all. We want those good feelings. We need those epic nights. We crave that dopamine, so turn the lights on extra bright. Pulling up in your city, looking for the HQ. I came here for your love, then I realized I hate you. Hella melodramatic. This that crack you can sell to an addict. Get them all hooked, it's a hell of a habit. Anything they need, tell them I have it. Never satisfied with a fraction. What's the point of life without passion? I could have anything I imagine when I mix clarity with action. Sometimes I feel like you're the only one who understands. Sometimes I wish I had 100 grand in rubber bands. I know how it feels being so far from home, acting like you know just what you're doing, but you don't. When the world falls, only the flyers will survive. When the world falls, only the highest will survive. When the world falls, I'll be glad to be alive. Sooner the world falls, sooner we arrive in the strangest of places. Intoxicated, this generation ain't got no patience. We want it all now. We want it all now. We want it all now. We want it all. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, and we are back again. That was TRUTHR with his song Strange Places. What a dope record. All right, so just breathe. You know, most compact disc players have the ability to skip, quickly through a musical selection, which was like 25 years ago. And then we had the iPods. And now, we just have cell phones. I remember this kid maybe a few weeks ago tried to give me a CD, and I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's like, play it in your car. I'm like, I can't. I don't have a CD player in my car. It's like, yo, you have to give people options because everybody don't have the same format. There's still people who carry around MP3 players. My dad is one of them. There's people who still have CD players. My mom is one of them. And then there's people who just have their phone, and my cousin who still plays tapes. My aunt who plays vinyl. I love vinyl, but I don't play them. I just collect them. Anywho, you gotta have different formats for different people. Download cards, streaming links, sites, all that. You need them all on deck. Even a CD. Yes, you still need a CD. So yeah, just think about that. I mean, so given those functions, you can skip through musical selections, like I just said. Just maybe playing a few seconds of the song, or a few fractions of the song, and then skipping ahead to another. It is quick, it is easy, way to locate the passage that you want to hear. You can sample entire 47-minute album in about 95 seconds. But it is a terrible way to listen to music. So often we try to live in a similar mode. Let me tell you, my wife, she never plays a song all the way through. And it could be her favorite joint. She'll play the first verse, the chorus, and then she flips to the next song. What are you doing? You would make a terrible DJ. Like, really? Like, I'm jamming and you're changing the song. Why? Oh, I'm bored of it. What? Like, people like her shouldn't listen to music. But anyway, often we do that. We sample this, we skip ahead on that, and arriving somewhere is just in time to leave. We cover a lot of ground, but we hurry right past the beauty of the song. Consider for a moment your breathing. Every few seconds you inhale, then you exhale. You cannot do tomorrow's breathing today. You cannot live today from the breathing you did yesterday. You must breathe now and again in a steady and unceasing rhythm. All of life has the rhythm and a pace. When you try to outrun it, you miss it. Making life faster does not make it better. Today is plenty. Right now is always enough. Tomorrow will come in good time, trust me. Until it does, live the depth of today. This moment is a beautiful symphony. Don't miss out on it by skipping ahead or playing one verse and one chorus. Who does that? Anywho, if she's listening, she's going to kill me. And I have to go home. Mind if I crash with you? Think about it. Anyway, take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bun. It may be my last word, but hey, I said it. Wife, take that. Oh yeah. Anyway, let's bring back the man of the moment. I'm so die. TRUTHR, you're back live with us and in our hot seat. What are you going to perform for us?
I'm gonna give you a new track that it's actually dropped since Strange Places, which is I've been kind of flinging them out there, being on some rapid fire release schedule here, just for a moment. But yeah, it's called Escape the Grind. Okay. It's kind of a boom bap song, so I just got some bars for you.
Dope.
Yeah, you ready? All right. Goes. Spiraling down further into the deep end, seeking something I don't even believe in. It's tourist season in the Garden of Eden. Super played out. I feel partly defeated. Tired of this digital spirituality, this binary code, the epitome of duality. It's hard to imagine infinity as reality. Take a couple doses, tripping up on the balcony. Things change. So nothing stays the same. Some of us are just so reluctant to play the game because it seems like a waste of time. And I'm looking in the mirror, can't tell if this face is mine. Identity crisis when you know yourself. And everyone around you thinks you're somebody else. They can't hear the music that's playing in your brain. They're watching you vibe out, saying you're insane. Hit you like a hurricane, an earthquake to shake up the planet and wake up the planet. The revolution is here. The solution is near. Everything was fine till the humans appeared. How many got to die for the truth? Murdered in cold blood. And he was only a youth. Sad stories too many times repeated. It only takes one shot to see your whole life deleted. In the blink of an eye, wishing I could freeze time, rewind, but that's not how it's designed. There's only one way to go. Where's the free will? We all waiting in line just to be killed. Go forth and find love. Immortalize yourself through your work that'll live on when your time's up. All things fluctuate. It don't matter. Just channel your energy into something great.
Oh, yeah. I love it, man. And you said that's already out?
Yeah, it's out. It's out now. Escape the Grind. It's my latest release on Spotify and Apple Music. I even I shot a little video. It's simple. I've just been experimenting, man, but I did a little GoPro video of it where I just kind of set up a tripod in a couple locations. I found some dope little backdrop spots and made a video myself. I did the video editing myself and everything. I made it all black and white. It's got kind of a vintage antique vibe to it. Got a vibe with like one of the shots got like a satellite behind me, like a giant satellite dish. And then I got an ocean shot. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, you can check it out now.
That's dope, man.
By the way, but yeah, it's like you can find me pretty much anywhere under I am TRUTHR, and TRUTHR is TRUTHR. There's no E. But yeah, on Instagram and but YouTube is just TRUTHR. Yeah, but yeah, it's live now, bro. everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Got it on SoundCloud. SoundCloud is I Am TRUTHR.
All right. And would you like to add anything before we part ways?
No, man, I just thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm excited for 2020. Definitely, everyone listening, follow me everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything's I Am TRUTHR. I got everything on YouTube, SoundCloud. I got lots more coming. I got things in the chamber and a catalog for you to peep. Yeah, I really appreciate anyone who blesses me with a moment, with a moment of their time, just to check the music out and catch the vibe that I'm on. I appreciate you, bro, for having me on the show.
Definitely appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Definitely, man. Sharing your music, man, and your thoughts with us. Yeah. So I wish you much success, man, in 2020. Keep a clear vision, as I will, and keep on seeking truth.
Yeah, same to you, brother. Blessings. Until next time.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website, and that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word, because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the #1 rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable, because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace, and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.